Well, good morning. It is currently, what time is it? 5 minutes of 6. I got up at about 5:30, which was about sunrise, and went and collected the ear sack. And I've just made myself some hot cocoa. Which is delicious. And I'm going to make myself some oatmeal. See how palatable we find that. Temperature's about 55. Despite the forecast, I don't believe we got as much as a drop of rain. The moon was out at some point, which I could see through the Cuban fiber tarp. So I haven't quite graduated to doing breakfast lying down in a hammock. Well, we might have to work on that some. This seems a lot safer and not too uncomfortable, since it's not very cold, obviously. So we'll get breakfast in and pack up, and looks like we're going to get an early start this morning. Hope your day is as good as mine. So we started walking about 10 minutes ago, about 25 after 7. Contrary to the weather forecast, it looks like, at least this morning, we're going to have a bright and sunny day. We are currently here, just past Ceasar Brook Campsite, and we're going to make our way down, continuing on the AT until this intersection, which is about 2.2 miles, and that'll put us onto the Mohawk Trail down here to Cornwall Bridge. That's another 9/10 of a mile down to the infamous grassy triangle right here. So that's what's on store for this morning. I'm a little bit concerned. I don't know with battery life on the camera. It's showing below half, and I didn't do that much since I changed the battery in camp last night. So as I say, I'm concerned. We'll be doing a lot of stills and less talking to conserve juice. I did downgrade the resolution from 1080 to 720, and maybe that'll help. But looking forward to another good day of hiking and the adventure of the Mohawk Trail. So we have arrived at the junction of the Appalachian Trail and the Mohawk Trail. It's just after 9 o'clock, which is a little later than I expected to get here, but I had to stop and make some gear adjustments. The weather is starting to look more threatening, so I put in my contact lenses, and I had to do something to keep my hydration bladder tube under control. It was flopping around too much. So there's our first sign for the Mohawk Trail. As I said, part of the Blue Blazed hiking trail system for Connecticut. And another sign here identifies this as also the Bread Loaf Mountain Trail, 610 south to Route 7. Down this way, the Appalachian Trail goes down to Route 4. And the road crossing at Route 4 has been in the same place since I was a teenager. So I'm pretty sure the AT came up this way and over this exact route before the relocation. So the weather's still kind of overcast, not really ominous, I would say, but, well, after yesterday, I'm just as happy to have the clouds. So, on to Route 7 and the grassy triangle. Well, across the way there is the grassy triangle at the junction of routes 4 and 7. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but there is a blue blaze over there on that signpost. And we're supposed to make our way across the grassy triangle and find the trail on the other side. Let's go see. Well, that turned out to be not that hard. There's a set of blue blazes over there, and that must be the entry to Dark Entry Road. An ominous name. Well, we've reached the end of Dark Entry Road. This area of the trail is subject to some bit of controversy. The trail does, or perhaps used to, go through the abandoned village of Dudleytown. It's in my version of the trail guide, but that's pretty old. According to some posts on White Blazes, Dudleytown gained an occult following and started attracting the wrong sort of people who used the trail to access the ruins. So the owners of the property, it was private property, got fed up with that and asked the trail be relocated, and apparently it was. But that's not obvious to me. Perhaps the trail used to go down that way. I don't know. Doesn't look too promising, but now it goes this way, and also doesn't look all that inviting. There's been these no parking signs all the way up the road, and a sign saying the section of the Mohawk Trail was closed from October 25th to November 4th. Doesn't say what year, but it's not between those two dates in any year. Also closed at sunset, no mountain bikes. So apparently we can continue on, and so we will. Oh, I get it. That's Halloween. It's closed every year for Halloween. Seems likely to me that this might have been part of Dudleytown. So we've basically been climbing since Cornwall Bridge. First up Dark Entry Road, and then up along Bonnie Brook through the Dudleyville area, and then a little bit since then until we've now finally reached the summit, or perhaps a summit, of Coltsfoot Mountain. Echo Rock is the name, 1,450 feet, I believe. And behind me is a spectacular view of Mohawk Mountain somewhere over there. Well, maybe it was spectacular at one point. So that's where we are. That whole Dudleyville thing was certainly strange. There were just hundreds of no trespassing signs, which I assume meant you'd be trespassing if you left the trail. And they went on for quite a while. And I haven't seen one for a while, so I assume we're out of that area. The bugs are pretty nasty here. Interestingly, there was never a sign, at least that I spotted, informing hikers going southbound that the trail was closed in the Halloween period. So It kind of makes a little sense. The ne'er-do-wells and undesirables would probably be coming from the road side, not from hiking the long way in on the trail. Anyway, well, half a mile or so, there's supposed to be another place where there's views to the northeast, so we'll go check that out, see if we can see anything. Well, there are some birch trees down there, and maybe at one point in time you could see something from here, but not anymore. Oh well. Well, at least I know where I am now. On the whole of Coltsfoot Mountain, the trail guide kept calling for vistas that didn't exist, so there really were no landmarks. But this is Furnace Brook, just outside Cornwall Village. So we're down. This is an area known as Cathedral Pines, for what I hope are obvious reasons. It was hit by one or maybe a series of tornadoes in 1989, the year after the trail was relocated. And by all accounts, it is now a remnant, a mere remnant of its former self. It's still pretty impressive, but there's a lot of big trees down. There's none right here. Well, there's one actually behind me. Pretty good size tree down, the root ball up. So very pretty. And if you were able to read the sign in the last still, it is protected land, belongs to the Nature Conservancy. So regrowth is in process. You might be able to see little tags on some trees as they study the regeneration process. I'll let you look without me being in the way. Very nice. Oop, getting dizzy. All right, but our trail goes that way. Oh, by the way, I have been remiss in telling you what time it is. It is now about 1:15. We're just on the edge of a ski run at Mohawk ski area. Took me a while to recognize what this stuff was. And there, finally, is a sort of a vista off to mountains that I'm pretty sure are on the AT, the furthest set, probably in Massachusetts. Excuse the shaking. So, a view. Don't know how far we are up Mount Mohawk. It's about 1:15 now, and we're plodding along. Well, another fine vista, this one without ski chairlifts in the way. I think in that last range, way up at the far end, is Jug End, and I can't remember the names of all the peaks. Some things aren't working out as well as I had hoped, so I just had to change batteries again in the camera and put in the third battery. And it's only the end of the second day. I thought I used the camera less the second day than I did the first day. One possibility there is the battery I used on the first day was an official Nikon battery, whereas the one I used on the second day was an off-brand, whatever was cheap on Amazon. So maybe it has less capacity, I don't know. But, well, we're going to try to conserve. And here I am yakking. And if worse comes to worse, I may have to finish up using my iPhone camera and be judicious about how I use that, because the quality generally, in my experience, sucks. Anyway, what else happened today? So we got to an area with a shelter about 2 o'clock, and we rested for a bit, and then we spent a while wandering around, and about an hour to find a good site. It's not exactly a stealth site. I don't know if you can see that nice green grass over there is a ski run, and there's some other equipment. That's the backside of a sign that has the ski map on it over there, and that's the top of a lift over there. So not exactly the wilderness, but I like it better than I like the kind of shelter area. I'm not sure what the rules were there, and it was near a road, so I thought the danger was too high that a ranger would stop by and try to shoo me out 5 minutes before dark or something. So we're set up here, and it seems pretty nice, and hopefully no one will bother us. I have to say that as opposed to the Appalachian Trail, the Mohawk Trail has nobody on it. I have not met even one hiker since I left the Appalachian Trail. So that has ups and downs, but that's the way it is. Okay, I'm starting to feel a little chilled, so I'm going to have dinner. It's not really all that cold. It's only 55 degrees, but got to have dinner sometime anyway. So tonight we're going to have chili mac that I've repackaged to get it out of the Mylar, and I'll let you know when that's ready. So this is what Mountain House chili mac with beef looks like. You've probably seen it before and eaten it before. I haven't used a Pro Pack before. It's a more reasonable portion than the full regular meal. It's still a little, I don't know. I think I'm going to have a hard time finishing it. We'll see. I do like it. Not more than the trail beef stew, about the same. So, that's the report on that. Well, I was wrong. I didn't have any problem finishing that at all. Excuse me. Quite tasty.